also we had in this play, like Woman in Black, 3 of the characters actually play multiple roles. 2 of the characters they're called the clowns, which was now I'm forgetting names here. Yeah, and Jose and Choco.
Yes.
And they played. I think they each played like 15 plus, I don't know, 20 roles in different clown. They're called the clowns. And then the main female character ended up playing 3 different roles. So it was also this really great opportunity for these actors to bounce back and forth in the midst of all this craziness. Go ahead, Giancarlo. You can talk
now. So yeah, like with this show, it's actually another great example of what I was just saying about auditions. And actually, like directors, like and producers out there, I'm calling them out. Don't cast people that you know just because you know them. Do the audition open mind, because people will surprise you. Because with this show, I'm proud. Only 4 actors that we had in the show, and 3 of them, and all 4 of them were new to the guild, to acting. Because Ana Victoria, which was the leading lady, she was in Woman in Black. She did the amazing makeup in Woman in Black, but she has only done makeup at the guild. And then the first time acting at the guild was this play. Ingrid McCartney, that was her first time acting in the guild as well. And Giancarlo, who played the main role, was also his first time acting in the play. And Jose Manuel Lopez was his first time acting ever.
Wow.
Anywhere, yeah.
Wow.
And with Jose, when he did the audition, he came into the audition without a script. Like typically you come in as a reading. You're reading the script that we give you for the scene. But he had gone out and he memorized the whole scene and came back in and knew it word for word and just nailed it. It was and he killed it. Man. Yeah, that blew us away. And that was like, well, we're not gonna have any problems with this guy.
Mind-blowing moment. And not only that, but like actually it's a pretty funny story how I came to know Jose. It was not at the audition. So a few months prior to doing the show, I had always wanted to play murder mystery gameplay thing, and so I was like, well, I called up Ana Victoria, who's a friend of mine who had done the makeup for Women in Black, and I was saying like, well, you want to do it with me? And she said yes, and so we organized this murder mystery, which we did at her house, only with 10 people, and it's like and I knew like the actually get into character and actually act out the characters, the better the thing. And so she got, half the people that were participating in it, and I got half the people. And one of the people that she got to participate in it was Jose Manuel Lopez. So I met him that night that we had the murder mystery, and I was like the host that like ran the whole thing. And then at the end, I gave awards to like best acting or like best costume and best stuff like that. And I gave the best character award to Jose Manuel because he came in and he was doing a British accent and he just killed it. Like he was an amazing actor. Even though there were people like HB there and Simon Tejeda, who are both amazing actors, like this guy out-acted them that night, I gotta say. And so I went up to him and was like, man, where have you acted before? That was amazing. And you know what he tells me?
What he says
and I told him like, and also like, we're doing this show, 39 Steps. You should come audition. And he's just like, but I'm not an actor.
Like, that doesn't matter at the guild.
Like what do you think? Like I was like, but I told him like, what do you think tonight? That was acting.
How interesting. Wow.
I have a quick question. Chechi on Facebook Live is asking, was Glengarry Glen Ross from RGB Productions?
No.
Glenn Ross. I was in that one. It was not an RGB production.
I've heard of that one, but I didn't see that one at the guild. That was before my time.
That was right after the first improv I ever did. But no, it wasn't. It'd be interesting to see you guys do a Glengarry Glen Ross though version.
Slapstick.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Hey guys, so then, by the way, my final question on 39 Steps. How did you come up with the puppet scene? Because I loved it. When they were running in the hills and the Loch Ness Monster pops up and everything, was that something you guys always had in mind, or did it just kind of happen,
It was was. I love to take credit for it, but it was part of the original version of the play. They had a puppet scene with shadow puppets, but I will say that in the middle of it, I'm back there cutting up cardboard trying to make a Scottish Moor out of puppet stuff, and I've never done anything like that. And that's when our good friend, we mentioned him earlier, doing Hand to God, Levy's, he showed up, and he was just like, he saw this whole puppet setup, and I think he almost fainted because he was just like, I love puppets. Can I please do the puppets? I would do the puppets. And so he did the rest of it. He set it all up and handled it. That was also one of the fun things, one of those shows. Like I said, I like to do the building. And so building that whole show, there was no actual real set. We just kept moving props around and trunks and bringing ladders in to be bridges that they had to cross and jump off of and everything. And so I had to build a mechanism that they could easily roll down a screen in the middle of the play, hopefully quickly, and then we spread apart the curtain, and then when they would do the puppet scene lit from the back, it was like this whole thing of trying to create it. It never actually worked 100%. It always screwed up somehow, my fault, but I got it good enough to where you could see most of the puppetry. But that was eventually handled by Levy's, and he did a masterful job.
Levy's took that over. I got a big shout out to Levy's. Dear friend, love him so much, and he has this passion for puppet / shadow work in theater.
Silhouette.
He includes silhouette. He includes it in almost all of his own shows. Because he's a very good director, right? And so when I think this was his first experience at the Guild, and when he saw, he's like, shadow puppets. I think he was in heaven in that moment.
Yeah.
Nice.
Again, all these photos that we're seeing from these plays are all by Elena Natani. She was our go-to photographer.
Elena Natani.
And at these photo sessions, we actually got access to the train. They had it there, and I don't know if we have photos of it, but they let us get on the roof of the train to do a chase scene on the roof of the train. It was unbelievable that they let us get up there and do that.
You're welcome.
I thought there's no way they'd let us, but that was you, HB. Did you handle that?
Man, even though he wasn't in the show, he was still involved.
Hey, the Guild love, man. Guild love.
Guys, so you did 39 Steps, which was with relative newcomers to the Guild, or newcomers 100%. And then you went and you handled an ensemble cast of so many talented actors and actresses in Clue.
Go ahead, Giancarlo.
What was that process like? Because that show had expectations.
Oh yeah. Wow, Clue was an amazing experience all around. I remember that year, because prior to that, all the shows that we had done up to that point, we had already kind of selected, when we decided to do Women in Black, we already knew that we had 39 Steps. Actually, we were between the two. So then after 39 Steps, we had nothing of what was next, and we had many meetings, and then suddenly, out of, I don't even remember who was supposed to have the idea.
You did.
Oh.
I remember sitting on my patio, my balcony, and you were like, let's do Clue. And I was like, does anybody know what that is? I mean, I loved it. I loved the movie, but I never even played the game. But I was like, well, they know what that is in Panama? But he was like, yes.
Yeah, me too. I love the movie. It is an amazing movie. For those of you that haven't seen the movie, Clue, go watch it. Right now, stop watching this right now. Just go watch it. But it's an amazing movie too. In the 80s, amazing cast, all-star comedians, and it is just hilarious all around. But there's actually, at that point, there was already a Clue play, but the Clue play that existed is a musical. And throughout my research, what I found out online, but kind of the prevailing opinion of this show is that it's not very good. It's kind of boring, the musical. And so I was like, we don't want to do that. We want to do the actual, how it's done in the movie without the musical part, just play up the comedy of it. And so that didn't exist at the moment. It does now. There's actually a Clue play now, but at the moment it did without the musical part. And so we were like, well, let's adapt it ourselves. Let's do it ourselves. And so we did. We adapted the script ourselves. And
technically, I want to add here, I myself I sat in front of the movie over I don't know how many hours because I did find a what's it called where they just take
closed
the
caption
they,
thing?
well, sort of, yeah, but it just has the words. It doesn't have characters. It doesn't have anything. It just has the lines. And so I had that, and I copied and pasted it, and I just sat through the whole movie over and a few times. I don't know how many times, and just started adding all these little notes. And eventually, we had to like we do with all these plays, is we make it our own as much as possible. We add our own things here and there that make for a better play, but. Yeah, it was a lot of sitting in front of that movie and watching, which is good because it made me very familiar with what they had done. And also what Giancarlo said, watching some of the other versions, because people try to do this all the time in high schools and other plays, community theaters, and there's a few on video, but watching what they did, seeing what I liked, and what we eventually would like, and things that we did not like was very helpful to kind of guide you in a good direction of something that is enjoyable.
We've got some comments on Facebook Live. Kelly Walsh is tuning in, and she has fun trivia. The Clue movie actually had several endings sent out to different movie theaters in the U.S. And I want to let people know, if you're listening and you have questions, please let us know. You can use that chat function on the Rapscallions webpage on Facebook. And if that's not working for some reason, you know us. WhatsApp us, man. We'll answer the questions. So let's keep going with Clue. What else do you guys have to add about that? Very fun play.
Yeah. So with Clue, we actually had an interesting problem after the audition of that play. Because normally when you do a play after the audition, sometimes, not normally, but sometimes you're like, you find a lot of people that you want for certain roles, but sometimes you don't find quite what you're looking for certain roles, and sometimes you have to do like a second audition or whatnot. But when we did the audition for Clue, the response from the community, the amount of people and talented people that came to the audition was overwhelming. That we had the opposite problem where we didn't know who to pick because we were like, this person is good for it, this person is good for it, this person is good for it. And it took us a long time to nail down who to pick. I think at certain points we were just like, let's do it random, like pick it out of the hat, like between two people. We can't choose it. Like we can't choose between these two people for this role. Like let's just random.
The only one we knew for certain is Colonel Mustard.
Here we go.
Yes.
We see we got a picture of Colonel Mustard.
Oh, boom! There he is.
Check out
Colonel Mustard.
Check out that facial hair. You know how hard I had to push to get the hair to come out like that?
Epic. That is epic.
Carlos Aleman, a.k.a. Lichos, comments, the 80s, when movie theaters were open. Keep that name in mind. It's going to come up a little bit later.
Remember the 80s?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The 80s, yeah.
But listen, I know we all love HB. I love HB. I love him to death. But you had so many other equally talented actors and actresses in that show. Like Christina Maduro, Nathani, Jason Biffis, Federico Del Bono, again, came back.
Karina.
Like you guys,
Ingrid?
Diana was in there. She was in there for about 3 seconds, but she killed it. Sandra was in there.
The Dead Crew.
They were Team Dead.
Team Dead.
Daniel Lopera.
Lopera. Yeah, we had a lot of side.
Lopera.
That was awesome. Team Dead was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and to a little backstory on
Diana.
It was interesting because when we were actually choosing the roles, like after the audition process, there are some characters that die throughout the thing. And because this is on stage and like in the movie, okay, they die, you cut to another scene, and, the actor can get up. But this is on stage, so we were like, are these people really just gonna stay there and lie there like for the rest of like the act or the rest of the show, whatever it may be? And we were like, well, it's gonna have to be. That's the deal. Like it's a dead character, and props to all of them that died in this show. They handled it amazingly. Once they died, they were down for the count and just laid there for the rest of the show.
I think Choco even said he fell asleep at a couple of
Yeah, he took a nap.
Nice.
That's method, man. That's method.
That means he was really comfortable.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
But he did have one part.
He was really comfortable.
We had a tricky part where Choco, Mr. Whatever the black is or whatever his name was, he dies pretty soon into the play. That's right. But then Mr. Body, ironically, but then he has to turn up later on for a flashback. But Choco was dead on the couch in front of the audience, and so we had to figure out a way where he could, and he was amazing. He's on the floor. He's on the floor. But he would snake out onto the cover of darkness. I mean, actually,
he would wiggle.
He would slither out, and then reappear later on in front of, like, within a few feet of the first row.
He would wiggle out of the scene, and he was so good at it that during the rehearsal process, like, I was out in the audience directing the show, watching it, and I knew that he had to disappear, but every time he would pop up for the next part that he had to be there after the wiggling, it would surprise me because I was like, wait, he was just there, and I would never see him until one night. It's like, no, this time I'm gonna see what he does, and I was like, don't get distracted. Don't get distracted. I'm gonna watch, and then I saw the little wiggle that he's
the wiggle.
That was some serious breakdance moves right there, man.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh,
we had another time a screw up. Props to MJ, who played Yvette, the French maid, where she had to run off to the safe on stage left, pull out, I think, a gun, and then run back over and shoot one of the other characters. But when she got to the safe, there was no gun. Somebody had forgot to put the gun where it was supposed to go. So I think, what did she do? She grabbed something else, a pipe or something, and ran over and hit the character on the head or did something to her. And then backstage after that, I think it was intermission maybe, backstage she was so upset. I think she was in tears. When I ran back there, and when she was in tears, just like, I'm so sorry, I didn't know what to do. And I was just like, you did amazing. You did the best that you could ever have done. You saved the moment. I don't know what I would have done, but you killed it. And she felt so bad about it, but she did such an amazing job. I mean, those crazy things that happen to you on stage, improv skills help, which obviously I don't have, but some of you guys would know. You just have to adapt, and she did such a great job. It was really impressive.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, like those are the type of things that you can never expect to happen. Like what happened was that one of the actors accidentally kicked the gun under the couch. And so when the stagehands had to come in and like put the props in the safe, they didn't see the gun because it was like really underneath that couch. And so like after that, I remember after that night, and MJ, I props to her, she killed it. She did what, it's like the worst situation, but she did what an actor's supposed to do, which is keep the scene moving forward and kept the moment going. But after that night, I was like, we only had one gun prop. I told Machoski, who was the stage manager for that show, was like, get 1,000,000 guns and put it in that safe. I don't care. Have like 1,000 guns in there. Word. So if when we lose one, you can just take out another. It just goes to show, like, anything can go wrong in the safe.
Yeah, you gotta keep it going. And now I have a question for HB, because HB, my friend, you've now done, I think, this is your third show with RGB. The first one being Point Break Live, then you did Woman in Black, now you're doing Clue. Did you notice any changes in the dynamic of this dynamic? Any growth as artists?
Oh,
nah.
Well, you want the truth, or you want me to lie? Well, I can tell you one thing. Woman in Black was, for me, was very, very difficult. And it was a drama. So the difference between Clue and Woman in Black was, I mean, Point Break, like Giancarlo said, was kind of live and working off the inability of an audience member. So there was wiggle room there. Woman in Black, there was no wiggle room at all. There was none. And there's only two people on stage at a time. It's me and Federico. And people claim they saw a third character, but that never happened. And so for me, Woman in Black was very strenuous and very difficult. And then Federico was on vacation for like, what was it, like 2 weeks? Yeah. So I'm rehearsing with Rob on stage, and he's reading from the script. So I'm not getting the reaction that I would have gotten from Federico, even though you did a great job, Rob. So
I did my best.
You did it. Yeah. So as far as, and you know, behind the scenes, Giancarlo's goddamn pen. I want to say that to the audience. His fucking pen, when you're trying to rehearse an act, you hear clicking. Click, 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 click. And you're like, he's writing down a note. And you hear the clicking, 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 clicking. And then you make a mental note of it, which makes it even worse because before he says it, you've already remembered when you heard the clicking. You know when you fucked up. And then you got to hear it again at the end of the rehearsal. But as far as growth, I mean, Point Break Live was their first play, and these guys knocked it out of the park. Woman in Black, to this day, people still come up to me in Reba Smith, and they're like, Woman in Black's my favorite play ever. You know? So as far as growth, where is there to go? I think Clue was the first time you got nominated, right?
Anybody got nominated.
Yeah. So what
Due to Giancarlo,
right.
Of course.
So as far as growth, these guys grew tremendously. More specifically on how to handle pain in the ass actors like me. You know, so in Clue they had.
HB's a diva.
I'm such a diva. I only want green M&Ms in my dressing room, and rum. Lots of rum is a necessity. But I mean, especially in Clue, if you just take a look at the picture, this isn't the whole cast. This is the leads playing each one of the characters in the Clue the board game, and plus Team Dead, the supporting cast. Those guys were great. So as far as handling such a large group and changing a movie into a stage play, the way that they set up the stage as far as imagining which room you're in, because remember you have Colonel Mustard in the library with a candlestick. I mean, there's only so much stage you can have, and there wasn't much that we had to work with, and using the magic of theater, they were able to make it happen. And Kelly's like plus backstage and booth. We gotta go back. Can we rewind a little bit to Woman in Black? Mr. Bunce. Yeah. That's how he got his nickname.
Oh, yes.
Bunce. Dude. Juan Bunce.
That's right.
Juan de la Guardia. That was his first time at the guild.
So now he's an established lighting director, right? He does
star as well, actor, Improv 8.
Right. He's a lighting engineer. I don't know if that's formalized, but he has lots of experience setting up lights, refurbishing lights, and running the board on lights. In that play, since the two main characters were actually actors in a play trying to relive this moment in life, there was someone in the booth. So there is a third person. It's Bunce. This fourth person, Woman in Black, I don't know who people are talking about, but that's where Juan got his nickname of Bunce. It stuck. All right, back to Clue. Yep. So yes, these guys always always come up with new stuff.
I remember going to see Clue because there were some RGB productions I missed because I was traveling and all that. But I remember going to see Clue, and the theater was packed. And if there's one thing I know is if you guys touch a show, when you bless it with your presence, the people will come.
They're the field of dreams. If you touch it, people will come. And most plays have a happy ending.
That's right. So then, check it out. You guys had an ensemble cast in Clue, but then you were like, you know what? We haven't worked with enough people. You know, we need to have more people on stage. We need to complicate our lives a bit more. And then you did Groundhog Day.
We cast Joe Mosquito.
Finally.
As Ed. Finally.
Finally, I was in an RGB production. How was that? Because you guys, dude, Groundhog was it was a mammoth. It was huge. Again, HB blessed it with his acting skills. HB.
Main character, yes.
He came in, man.
A pattern with this guy.
Serious.
Yeah, that again was another similar adaptation style of watching the movie a lot and writing it out. That one, I think, how many? That was 20 something cast members?
Yeah, that's the biggest cast we've ever had, and it
By
was
far.
20-something people on stage. It's like 26 maybe. I don't know exactly.
That's
Dude,
crazy.
that poster has the poster that. Okay, well, all the posters feature HB, but there's
Yeah.
one poster.
Yeah,
There's
yeah. Go
one
back to the
poster
groundhog holding the cast.
that features a lot of people and HB.
Yeah.
That's a ton of people, man.
That's probably not even everybody.
And not
So,
to
yeah.
mention backstage and all the other people that were like helping out.
Yeah. That is.
That one was a huge challenge, even more so than I think than Clue when it came to blocking it, like getting people around, and because trying to do a movie makes us look so easy. They cut scenes and transitions are so simple, but trying to cut and transition movie scenes on a play in a building, it's really hard. You really have to manipulate the script in a way that makes it more fluid, flow very well. And I you could always say that you can improve things, but I think we did a really good job of keeping the flow together, getting rid of some of the stuff that maybe wasn't so important, not so iconic, some of the scenes that people don't know that well, and kind of so we could make it happen. But yeah, with all those people, even just rehearsals is complicated. Getting everybody there, getting them around. It's like a town full of people you got to fill the theater with. But it worked out. Everyone, with the guild, everyone's there for one reason. It's because it's a passion and they love it. No one's getting paid, so they're not going to be. You try to do your best to keep rehearsals as minimal as possible, so you're not have people sitting around a lot. But everyone there has such a great attitude for the most part that it's easy. It's easy to work with these people. They're all there because they love it. So it makes it a hell of a lot easier when you've got something this difficult to deal with.
Yep. So actually, if I may, I want to jump really quickly back to Clue because there's 3 things that HB mentioned when he was talking about it that I just wanted to comment really quickly on. And that is first the staging, about how all the rooms were on stage. And I gotta give big props to both Rob Getman and Stephanie Sands, who were did most of the bulk of the designing of that stage, because one of the main things that we knew going in is that the most important part about Clue is the momentum that it builds up, and you can't stop that. And one of the biggest problems with plays is when you have to do scene because that just kills the momentum. And so I told Rob from the very beginning, if we're doing this, we have to do it in a way where we don't have scene changes. And so that meant having all the rooms on stage. And then, him and Stephanie Sands made that happen. So big shout out to Stephanie Sands for that stage.
To show how important that is, that stage, we had the opportunity to do Clue again, professionally, outside of the guild. We had a couple theaters that were interested in doing it, but and one of them, we really liked the theater. We really wanted to do the theater, but the theater was just a little bit smaller than the guild, and I mean, Giancarlo especially was just like, there's no way. And I always thought, well, maybe we could. He was like, no, we barely got this done in the guild, and then this theater would cut off like I don't know, 4 feet on either side, and there's just no way we could fit it all in this theater. It's how difficult it was moving everybody around. You guys had the clump. You remember what was it? The clumping?
Yeah,
Team Dead and Team Clump.
You guys would group together, and you basically would move as one unit in this crowd of people with your little feet shuffling along to get out of the way of another actor who needed to run through the scene or walk through the scene. You have to clump and shuffle, and so that's how tricky.
Clump
It was
shuffle.
it was choreographed. So we would clump. So all the actors would be on stage and clump together, and it was like 7 shuffle steps to the left, 2 shuffle steps back, and that's how we moved around. So that was the blocking. So we had Team Clump and Team Dead.
It was so funny though. That's how things become so much fun. It's these little things of like, how do we move these people around? Well, they're doing it already like this. Let's emphasize it and make it hilarious. And that's how so many unique comedy bits would pop out of this thing. Making it.
Dude, let me ask you. Let me ask you guys something, because I forgot to ask you this earlier, so it's good that we're talking about Clue again. You guys also did something at Alta Plaza Mall.
Oh yeah, we did. Yep. So when we were into the lead up of the show opening, we wanted to obviously do a lot of marketing and also get sponsors for the show, and we were thinking outside the box. And came up with this idea of like, why don't we try to recreate Clue for an audience, like outside of the guild, and make like a rally out of it. So we enlisted the help of Rob Rivera, who had done a lot of rallies before then on his own.
Also,
And
Reservoir Dogs.
yes, and also he did Reservoir Dogs. But he had experience making specifically rallies. And so we tasked him with the job of creating a Clue themed rally. And then we took that to malls in Panama, because the whole idea was like, what if the mall is the house where this is the mansion where this is the thing takes place, and the individual stores within the mall are the rooms. And so that way the rally takes place inside the mall, and they have to the participants have to run and find the different characters inside different stores within the mall. And so we actually, this is a story like that many people don't know, actually. So the first mall that we approached and that had actually was very interested in doing this was Soho Mall. Back then they were like recently opened up and whatnot, and they liked the idea so much, but they wanted it bigger. They were like, we will give you double the money if you make it so it's double the amount of people. We were like, that's crazy, but we'll figure it out. And as we were trying to figure it out, that's when, I don't know if you guys know this, the whole thing happened with like the owner of Soho Mall being like
blacklisted.
Yeah, he was like indicted or not indicted, or put like in this like money laundering thing in the United States list or whatnot. And after that we were like, well, whoops, there goes that, because then nobody like wanted to get involved in that, especially because we had like a lot of Americans involved in the cast, and we didn't know they could get near that and whatnot. So we had to mix it, even though they were offering us honestly a lot of money. And then we approached Alta Plaza Mall, who actually had recently opened up as well, and they were very interested, and we made a deal with them. And so we actually held a rally at Alta Plaza, and we took all of the actors who, I gotta say, were troopers, and they went on a weekend over there. They dressed up as their characters. We hid them away in different stores throughout the mall, and then people ran around trying to find them. And then when they would find, like, let's say, Mr. Colonel Mustard inside, I don't know, Alice or whatever, I don't remember the exact store that they were in, then they had like a challenge for them, and if they completed the challenge, they would get like a little sticker that they would put in a card, and then at the end, they had to guess who it was and with what weapon.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure
HB, how was it like for you?
Oh. What was that?
I said, I'm pretty sure MJ got the most attention in that French maid's outfit for his head.
Everyone, when they drew Colonel Mustard, they're like, damn it.
Yeah. They're like, oh, this guy. How was that like for you, HB? They were like, hey, you, give me something.
Well, the thing is that I look like such a big gringo that they were kind of timid of me. And then I would yell at them in a fake Spanish gringo accent. I made them do push-ups and stuff and hop around. They got a little extracurricular stuff with me. So they had to come and I'd give them the clue. Sometimes I'd make them do push-ups and stuff, or sit-ups, or jump around, or chant something ridiculous in the middle of the store. But for the most part, you, as an actor, you're kind of tired. You're not tired, but all that rehearsal time can be overwhelming, even though you love acting. And then it's like, oh my God, on my day off, I have to go stand in the mall for a few hours. But at the end of the day, after we did it, it was kind of neat. It was kind of cool, and we had all this weird merch, like stickers of ourselves, that we still use to this day. So we each had little stickers that you would hand out to people as part of, like you fill in your clue card. You had to go visit each person and try and figure out who it was. So those types of things, even though you're kind of tired, at the end of the day, you had fun. So that kind of helps you on your outlook on life. Just keep doing new stuff and keep trying new things, and you're gonna have fun. I guarantee it.
Plus, that's another example of what these people will do for the guild. I mean, there's so many people love the guild. You're willing to go out there and dress up. That's how HB looked. Look at that picture. That's how he was dressed in the mall. And everybody else was in their costume, spending a few hours on top of the, I don't even know how many hours you could say you put into a rehearsal for one of our shows anyway, but all of it just to obviously to have fun and get up on stage and flex that muscle, fulfill that addiction that some of us have, but you're also helping this guild survive, so other people can do it as well.
Absolutely.
Hey, you know what, man? HB was making people do CrossFit in Stevens. That sounds like abuse to me.
That was awesome.
Well, they signed up for it.
Joe,
so
look at the picture. Look at the picture. Joe, you are a fan of CrossFit. Joe is Joe's a very fit individual.
I would have been like, give me some tires, dude. I try, man. I try. I would have been like, give me some tires, give me some weights.
So what are the nominations you guys got for Clue?
Well, yeah. So Rob, what were the nominations we got?
The nominations. Oh, you're gonna. Well, we got nominated Best Actor for Amit Nathani for playing the Butler, which we haven't talked enough about. I mean, he destroyed that role. He nailed it. He was all over the place, running around. He went from mild-mannered butler to like this maniac. We had a a supporting actress, which was who was the supporting?
Oh no. We got sound.
That's right. It was a sound design, and then also a best adaptation.
Yeah, and it was Rob Getman who got nominated for sound design.
And then Giancarlo.
Damn, Robbie G.
Adaptation. And we ended up that night. We only walked away with adaptation, but it was still the first time the guild had ever been even included, because Giancarlo made it his mission to get the guild involved with the Cenas.
Premios Escena.
So
I think for this.
Yeah, that's right. Tonight at 7 is Premios Escena, and a play that Joe and I were involved in is nominated for 7 awards. 1903, the musical. So when you're done with this wonderful live cast with RGB Productions, there's a Zoom conference for the Premios Escenas, which is kind of like the Tony Awards for Panama, for those who don't know what it is. So Clue, Best Actor, Best Sound Design, and Best Adapted Play.
And we won.
To come away with that, to come away with, I mean, the Theater Guild of Ancon, first and foremost, to not have it wasn't ever involved before, and then to have it be considered and then get an award, massive, dude.
Absolutely, especially considering that we're an English-speaking theater, so to be considered for a Spanish language award means that you have to have the people who are voting come and watch the play.
Yeah,
that's right.
It was a lot of work to make that happen. I won't lie. But I'm very, very happy for the Premios Escena to finally, include the guild, and because the guild, even though it's English-speaking theater, it's still part of the Panamanian theater community as such.
Truth.
Included events like this, and so props to them to finally, including us. And since then, they've included us in more times. Now we're actually working even closer together with them. So big shout out to them.
Yeah, speaking of, I mean, Groundhog
And you
Day.
know what other show? That's right.
No spoiler alert. Groundhog Day, we ended up getting another leading actor nomination.
Yes.
Mr. HB for his poster.
Who?
Yeah, and then that was Tevye, right? The leading supporting actress with such a super. She had such a super small part as the host bed and breakfast
Mrs. Snuffleupagus
lady.
Mrs. Perflupagus.
She killed it so hard that they nominated her.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And then we also had Best Adaptation award nomination as well, which I had zero. I was so pessimistic about anything about getting that award, and then sadly HB only walked away with the nomination, which I think he was robbed, and Tevye as well. But Giancarlo and I did get to go back up on stage to receive our second adaptation award. They let us have that one. We got a great.
That's a big congratulations again. Your adaptations have won again, And I did get some insider info from a guildie who works for Premio Escena. She said that for the nominations, the people who did see the play, 90% of them nominated me.
Ah, cool, man.
Yeah.
That's good to
And
know.
just so you guys know, I got an award in the background. Black Market Award for Best Insurance Salesman in a play in Panama.
Excellent.
Hey, you want to
was
know
Ned Ryerson,
what's gonna
so.
make you feel better,
Right.
Ned?
Right.
My kids and I still, to this day, will pop out a, "Oh, watch out for the first step." It's a
Doozy.
Oh
My kids
yeah.
still remember that.
Nice.
We have to talk about
Excellent. That makes
in Groundhog.
So let's turn the camera around and let's do the interview on Joe. Joe, what was your experience in the auditions for Groundhog Day?
Man, and I thought I was never gonna get cast. Every time these guys have done a show, I've always had a trip to go somewhere. And straight up from the beginning, I told them, I said, "Hey guys, I'm gonna leave for like 2 weeks while you guys are doing auditions. So I'm just gonna do this for fun." And they were like, "Okay," because I gotta support Giancarlo and Robbie G, man, no doubt. Those guys are the bomb. So I went down, I did the interview, and I didn't remember Groundhog Day at all. I didn't remember it. And then coincidentally enough, Amit Natani was on the porch with me, and he said, "You remember that character that you played in School for Wives?" And I was like, "Yeah, the notary. Yeah, I was notarizing stuff all day long." And he was like, and I was like, "Okay, cool." So then I did it just like the notary, and then I was like, "Okay, these guys aren't going to cast me because I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks while they're doing the rehearsals, and I know these guys are super profesh with their rehearsals." And then I remember I had to go to Mexico beforehand for a work meeting, and I'm landing in Mexico. I turned my phone on, and Giancarlo says, "Hey, we want to cast you as Ned Ryerson. Do you want to do it or not?" And I was like, I was like, "Dude, I just landed in Mexico. Like, I'm thinking about work stuff." He's like, "Yeah, well, I need to know." Giancarlo was like, "I need to know within the hour." And I was like, 1 hour?
And you know why? There's actually an interesting story behind here that maybe not even Joe knows this one. About this
I don't know it.
About this specific casting of this role. Like, because this play
Tell me.
had such a big cast, like both Rob and I were thinking of maybe taking roles ourselves in the play. And that's normally something that I personally don't try like play taking roles in plays that I do as a director. I like to be able to watch it, but for this one we were considering it, and the role that I had in mind for myself was Ned Ryerson. I really liked that role, and so I was cast myself.
Wow.
Joe, if you take a role from a director, that's hardcore, dog.
Yes.
Well, honestly, guys,
Yeah, dude.
honestly, Joe, I was at that moment like, hell no. Who can take this role? Joe can take this. No, I'm just kidding.
But yeah, Joe came.
Oh man, life would be
the
so much
audition.
different if I would have said no.
Oh, that's so true. That is so true. You should be talking about that story.
Yeah. I don't think there wouldn't have been a Rapscallions, I don't think.
There wouldn't have been a Rapscallions. I probably wouldn't have gotten married. Oh my god.
That's right. Who was stage manager of this magnificent awarded show?
Oh, the stage.
Oh, I don't
manager.
remember.
Kelly Walsh.
They're all this. Oh yeah, that girl.
That's
That
right, the best show.
I remember clearly. If I say I don't remember, then I'm a problem.
Big trouble.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
gonna see a paila on the side of the picture.
Oh.
Patong.
my god.
Hey, we were telling so many stories about auditions that I just had a memory. I want to rewind a little bit because I auditioned for 2 parts. Actually, I auditioned for 3 parts in Clue. I auditioned for the butler. I auditioned for Colonel Mustard in my best Foghorn Leghorn impression. But I also auditioned as Amit Nathani as the butler. I don't know if you guys remember that.
I do. Now that you mentioned it.
That was insane.
That's right.
That's probably why you thought you got to be
wanna
more
see that.
insane.
Did
You
you
got to
tape
be
that?
more insane.
Have you
I
taped
mean,
that?
when HB auditioned for you as the butler, he looked completely insane.
I
Yeah.
need to see that. If you guys tape that, I would love to see it. I would love to show it on Scallions.
That's why Amit was so into this show and so wanting to be the butler that he apologized ahead of time the rehearsal, and apologized during the rehearsal probably, and many times after the rehearsal. And he promised that he sucks at rehearsals, and he promised that he would be better, and he was going to get the script memorized. And it was just he was so into it, and obviously it paid off because he was right, because he kicked it out of the park. Is that a phrase? We're talking about Munich, and
if you're playing kickball, you can kick it out of the park.
So do we have any score updates, Joe?
They won already,
That's
HB.
it, dude. Hey,
We're
they're
the
bobsled champions of North Europe,
Norway!
man.
Nice.
Robbie G is so pleased.
Let's rip my shirt off.
Yeah.
So there's something else that I'd like to talk about in the Groundhog Day that involves HB. Other than his main role, there's something that he helped us a lot with in this production that I am actually very proud of. Remember like earlier when I mentioned that in our shows we like to include multimedia as much as we can, whenever possible. And in this show, it was no exception, because there is also a chase scene in it, and it's actually a car chase scene.
Oh snap! That was epic.
Yes. And when we were in like the pre-production, like thinking about how we're gonna do all these things, especially this car chase scene, because it's a car chase that ends with the main character going over a cliff and basically exploding with the groundhog. And so we were like, how are we going to do this? So the original idea with that we had is that we were going to build these mini cars that they were going to get on, in these little chairs in these cars, and they were like kind of with like their legs kind of like picapiedra, like the Flintstones, like moving
It was going to be office
stage,
chairs with a cardboard siding.
Yeah,
car built
at that point, I think for me anyway, I was like, I don't give a shit. Just whatever you want to do. Giancarlo's like, no, green screen. And HB's like, yeah, green screen. I was like, I don't care. I'm wiping my hands of this. And then it turned out amazing.
And so, then we had the idea of like, well, why don't we do it with green screen? But not like pre-recorded green screen, but live, on stage green screen that would show up on a screen in the moment. So that way it's not just a video that we're showing, but you can actually see it in the process. And so that was a very, very technical, difficult thing to pull off. And it was done by having like we built the side of the stage would swing open and reveal a green screen. And then
I did handle that part. That was me.
Yes, that was
good job.
This amazing.
Good job.
Hinges, baby.
Normally unhinged, but in this occasion hinged.
Yes.
Super hinged.
For HB, and then you helped us with the technical side of it, of pulling this off. Can you yourself? Now I'm interviewing you. How did we pull
besides having 90% of the lines and being on stage all day,
who's counting?
Who's counting? Let's get some.
Did it all.
Let's get some pictures up here. So we were talking about.
Very humble.
What was that, Joe?
You're very, very humble.
Yeah. So
You're the most
also
humble person I know.
humble. So my directions for that play were: be funny like Bill Murray, but you can't act like Bill Murray. That's what they told me, and I was like, you guys are fucking assholes. I think was my exact lines was, you're fucking asshole, But we were talking about doing office chairs with cardboard cutouts, and I was like, look, there's already a sight gag. There's already a sight gag at the beginning of the movie where he does the weatherman bit, and then she comes on stage and she's wearing a green outfit, and he kind of is enamored with her without even knowing it because she's wearing green. So taking that into account, why don't we do the car driving scene with green screen as well, and just do in front of the green screen, have the steering wheel and have people acting, and that worked for the old lady scene, the weather scene, and also when Phil is driving his buddies from the bar around. So that was my technical contribution to it. We rigged up the green screen, which is what I'm using it today. This is the green screen from Groundhog Day.
Oh,
And priceless.
Memorabilia.
reduce,
right
reuse,
there.
recycle,
On
man.
stage.
Yeah. See, here it works, but in this other one, it's you got here. This is actually Joe's. See, it's Joe's background there. Look.
I was wondering what the hell was going on with you two. I was trying to figure that out.
Hey,
and
for a moment I didn't
speaking,
see myself, but now I do.
yeah. Speaking of production value, if anyone would like to contribute to Rapping with Rapscallions, you can go to co-fi/Rapscallions and donate money. If you donate $1 million, we will write a song for you. No problem.
Hey, that's it.
100%.
I mean, we probably do it for $1.
Just $1 million.
So far,
There's a lot
no
of-
one has donated any money, but
Seriously.
the future is looking good.
One day. I mean, you know, it's looking wonderful.
Gotta be
Hey,
optimistic.
listen, check this out. I think you guys, like, my respect to you guys, because you guys had a big cast for Groundhog Day. And people still, nobody quit. Everybody was super happy, and everybody contributed, and everybody felt really filled. And then once the show kicked off, we felt like one giant family. And I think that was beautiful, man, because nobody in there was like, nobody had issues with anyone. Everyone loved each other. Everyone was supportive of each other. Everyone just really wanted the best show possible. And we all gelled really well, which I thought was pretty amazing. And I think that was down to, I guess, you guys kind of guiding us through that process of having 20 odd people on the stage and everyone having to fill a particular role. Everyone knew what their role was. From Gilby, I mean, Gilby killed it every single night. Gilby was one of the standout characters in the show, and he was on stage for very little.
He almost made that the Gilby show. Almost.
With like
Yeah,
a 10-second roll.
Yes.
seriously.
He killed it. Yes,
But people loved Gilby, man. So it was incredible how supportive everyone was of everything and of everyone, and just wanting to. It was very. And I remember one of the scenes I remember the most was when Jason Biffis was gonna come on stage with Delia, and I think they were like filming something, and Biffis broke the camera backstage before he came on. He comes out with a broken camera, and HB doesn't know the camera's broken, and HB's supposed to pick up, and then he sets the broken camera on the floor, and HB goes to pick up the camera, and he picks it up, and he's like, why isn't the lens coming up with this? But HB just rolled with it, and he picked it up, man.
That was so traumatic, I don't even remember
I
it,
was in the booth
dude.
with Gilby and with Rob. I was cracking up, man. I was like, Biff has broke the camera.
That stuff
One of my
ends up
favorite
being the
roles.
best part of the
Sorry.
play for us, for the cast and crew.
Yeah.
Big shout out and big props to Kelly Walsh, our stage manager, who kept all us mad people in line. And I think we actually had a menu, the menu for the diner. I think Kelly made that with groundhog soup on the menu, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh,
No,
good.
Delia made
Oh,
that.
that was
if I'm not
Delia?
mistaken.
Oh, oops.
Yes.
And also to
Uh,
Kelly Walsh, who, and the body not dropping the one time. Kelly's
Oh,
writing
yeah.
in. I remember
Yes.
that.
So
That was
I have
user
thank you so
error.
much for mentioning Kelly again, because I have to give a big shout out, and like I love Kelly so much for like her role in this play, because all of you have mentioned how big the cast was, and it was huge, but it was only possible to keep it like cohesiveness together and everything moving forward because of her masterful being the stage manager, and making everything just keep going. Because once the play's actually on stage, like when we're already on the show, us the directors, we are for the most part in the booth just watching, and all I can do at that point is just take notes. But the person that is actually making it function and keeping it going, all that craziness, was Kelly.
Exactly. In professional theater, once the directors have finished and show night is upon you, the directors go away, and the person who runs the show is the stage manager. They're God. So all actors have to get it out of the way of the stage manager, and they're the ones who run everything. So big props to Kelly. She did a great job.
Yep.
Groundhog Day
No doubt.
was intense and fulfilling
Phenomenal.
and amazing.
And Andrea Marchowski for Clue.
Do it
She
again.
was the stage manager for
Yeah.
that, and that was also a crazy show backstage, and she was on it so much. It was only ran so well because of her as well.
For sure.
All right. So
Hey, you've been itching at talking about Lichos. I think we got
well,
for like 2 hours.
We've got one play in between. Well, let's
Man.
talk about the play that you did during the pandemic, and then we're gonna rewind because you guys did a very special play that to me was very emotional and was very impactful.
Word.
Which one do you guys want to talk about next? Do you want to jump forward to pandemic plays and how to pivot, or do you want to talk about in chronological
know.
order?
Hold on, HB.
All right.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna make a drink, but you guys can carry on. But I want to hear about both of these. But just discuss amongst yourselves for a minute.
All right.
talk loud.
While Joe's making a drink, let's discuss our favorite things to drink. Rob, you're up. What do you drink?
I'm a beer man myself. It's typically I stick with beer because I have more control over beer. Cocktails sort of take over when I'm drinking them.
What happens?
Shots are out of the
What
question.
happens when you do cocktails or shots?
Well, I have a nickname. Nobody knows it in Panama, but before I moved here, I spent 5 years in LA working.
I thought you were
right
going to
out
say
of
prison.
college. Well, funny you should mention that. But I did have this nickname as the Rooster. They called me the Rooster because at some point with cocktails, I basically shut down. Like my brain's still working. It's called a blackout. But I shut down, but my body keeps going. And I really, if there's music around, I really start pumping. So I got the nickname the Rooster. So
I like that.
I limit myself.
Dang.
Yeah, well, I limit myself to really beer, and I try to go as light as I can, almost water, just to give me, have fun, but not lose control.
So essentially, your drink of choice is apple juice.
Or Balboa, either one, they work.
And I already know the answer to this one, but I've got to ask, Giancarlo, do you have a drink of choice when you do partake?
So I'm actually don't drink. I haven't drank in like 4 years or 3 years. I don't know how long it's been now at all. But when I used to drink, my drink of choice was vodka tonic.
Vodka tonic. I like vodka tonics. I also do Seiko tonics. Oh, can we talk about what I want to drink now?
Sure. HB, what do you like to drink?
Well, when people ask me that, I said, yes, I'm Irish. So that kind of includes everything. I might have been a pirate in the past life because I like rum. I have a bottle of Abuelo calling my name right now. But I've actually been partaking of the Jim Beam and Coca-Cola. And I'm going to segue to Joe. Joe, what are you drinking while I make a drink?
He asked you a question,
What do
Joe,
you-
about what you're
what do we-
drinking.
I am drinking rum and Coke, man. That's what you drink on Sunday afternoons.
It's a standard.
When
Yeah,
you're just chillaxing.
now GB just left us. Now it's just
He left.
you and I, Joe.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna make
Finally.
a drink
Oh
of
my-
water. I'll be right back.
All right. He's going to
You
go
gotta
pee.
stay hydrated, without a doubt. Listen, Rob G, I gotta ask you something because I heard that at the last Theater Guild Christmas mashup, you did a fantastic rap. I didn't see that rap, so I need to know if this rap is recorded. If there's any way
It
for me to
is.
see
It is.
because I need to hear it.
Everybody that's listening who doesn't
has
know,
it?
there's a on the YouTube on the Guild YouTube page. We did a show. This is an RGB, but we did a Christmas mashup show 2 Christmases ago, and then last Christmas, which is just a group of guildies that wanted to do something for Christmas. There wasn't a show, and so Amit Nathani and Andrea Marchowski, they kind of came up with this idea to just do this mashup of different sketches and music and whatnot. And so they reached out to everybody, and a good number of people, I don't know, I'd say like 20 people, just
Word.
submitted ideas. And for me, I submitted a Kids in the Hall Christmas sketch, and I also I adapted this Steve Martin Christmas wishes Saturday Night Live. Now his was originally only like 2 minutes, and he talked about his Christmas wishes, which started off as peace and happiness for children, but ended up with all-knowing power over the universe type thing. And so I turned that into a song, a nice Christmassy song, kind of a lounge lizard song. And then it gets darker and darker, and I get crazier and crazier, and I'm dressed like Hugh Hefner, and I got a mic and everything. And then for the next Christmas show, I had to one-up it, and so I started out doing that Christmas lounge singing song, and then but then he ends up so pissed off that he didn't get his Christmas wishes last year that he starts singing this hardcore Robbie G style Christmas rap about wanting his Christmas wishes and all that. And then Diana Moreno, she sang a backup for me for the rap, kind of like Beyonce and whoever, Jay-Z. That stuff, Joe. I don't know that stuff, but it was really fun.
Oh man, you were Jay-Z? Whoa.
I was Jay-Z-ish. That should be my rap name, Jay-Z-ish.
I'm getting reports.
But yeah, it was a
Robbie G. I'm getting reports that the rooster made an appearance at the Mosquito wedding.
That was the last time the rooster showed his face. That is true. I don't remember half of that wedding, Joe. Sorry. I do remember I don't know about.
You had a good
that
time.
was a celebration,
I totally
baby.
did, but I remember Kelly sending me I don't know what happened, but like the next day or 2 days later, she sent me a picture of she had like a scrape on her knee or something. Kelly's probably going to correct me.
Yeah, because you tripped her.
Well, shut up. That's
trying
not
to get
true.
to the restroom and you tripped her.
That's not true. I thought that was the case, and I felt so bad. I was like, oh my God, I injured the bride, and I don't even remember it. But she says anyway, maybe it's just to make me feel better, that she ended up tripping on her dress, but I was nearby, or I was probably trying to help her get to the bathroom. I was probably an idiot. And that was a fun night. Anyway, let's move on.
She scared her. She fell.
I could have scared her.
Yeah.
All right.
But I don't know about you guys, but being in the Rapscallion show, I think that you should make Rob rap that just said that he was rapping in that Christmas show.
Yeah, we got other things we got to get to, though.
Idea ever.
Yeah.
I don't even remember
Right now, Robbie G. I think we're going to have you on for the Rapscallions Christmas episode.
Oh, totally. I'll be ready for that one, man.
You're going to have to rap, unless you're ready right now. In which case you should rap right now.
I'm trying to remember, once I got the first line, I think I could nail it, but I can't even remember what the first line was. It was so long ago. I would do it.
So long ago. It was 2 weeks ago.
I'll give you one. Santa, 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 it's like you're not hearing me. Ignore my wishes like a Noel conspiracy. Blah, blah, blah. That's pretty good.
Bravo.
That's fire. That's fire, man.
On all this drinking topic, the Rapscallions made a song called "Have a Drink with Me." DM us. We're big on DMs. You send us a DM, we'll send you the song. That's all I got to say about that. So, all right, are we going to go chronologically, or are we going to go jump?
Yeah. Because I really do want to make sure that the one you're talking about, I believe, is Every Brilliant Thing. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
That one is. I really am glad you brought that up. It slipped my mind because it wasn't guild related, so I kind of even slipped my mind when we were talking. But that one was very. I'm glad you mentioned it. It was a very important show for us. One that we took outside, our first real attempt at something outside the guild. But if we ended up not being able to do it at the guild. We wanted to, but we couldn't make it happen with issues of rights and such. But we were allowed. By the company who owns the rights to do it for high school kids, for high schools around Panama, because it's a play that I found that I really enjoyed watching. There's some versions of it online, some segments of it. It was on HBO, I think, at one point. They did put it on HBO. They did a live version, but it's a one-man show. But a lot like Johnny Utah-ish, it incorporates the audience where the one man, he's doing a story of his life growing up with a suicidal mother, and so suicide is a huge theme of this show.
Mental health.
And he, what's that?
Mental health,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, depression, suicide, and so we thought it was a great opportunity to bring in to talk with kids about it, because I had heard that it's something that it's happening. Young kids are at a record number are attempting, at least, and sometimes successfully, suicide and dealing with it on a regular basis. And so I contacted a organization here, Fundaciones Relaciones Sanas, right? Is that, I always screw it up. Yeah, and they deal specifically with mental health and suicide for the most part. This group of female psychologists and psychiatrists. And so I contacted them because I wanted to have someone that knew what the hell they were talking about to be there with us. And we approached the schools and did several shows, both in English. I did the English version. Giancarlo did the Spanish version. And we would do this one-man show that would talk about his life growing up with a suicidal mother and what he faced. But even though it was a one-man show, we had characters that had to be played by audience members, which was kids for the most part. So we would go into the audience and be like, hey, you know, I'm going to talk about the veterinarian who put my dog to sleep. Could you be the veterinarian? Come on up here. And you bring them up. Or could you be my dad? Or could you be the... And they would you'd have to basically... The play is written so that you guide them through these scenarios. And it's a comedy, actually. I mean, it sounds dark, and it is. But it's a really funny and moving comedy. And then afterwards... we would have the doctor from the foundation talk with the students for sometimes up to a half hour, 45 minutes, and ask questions. Sometimes it would just be like, do you have any questions? Do you want to talk about this? And every single time we had kids, you know, I get emotional about it. I'm getting emotional right now. I couldn't get through a play, Giancarlo will tell you, I couldn't get through a play without losing my shit. I would be crying, talking with these kids, and in the midst of this thing, I'd be bawling. And but these kids would come in, and the first play we did was at my kids' school, and my daughter, who was 7 at the time, it's okay for the kids to be there, younger kids, so she sat and was in it or watched it, and afterwards, you know, one of the students came up to me specifically and was asking how I was doing, and it's like I didn't know how to deal with it because I was like I'm just an actor. She's the doctor, but she was also so upset with some of the teachers that she had been dealing with, trying to help her, quote unquote. I know they're doing their best, but she didn't feel that they were giving her what they needed, that she wanted to talk to me, and she wanted to tell me her story. And it was, man, she was like 15 and dealing with depression and suicide and her mother and all this stuff. It just, I was overwhelmed. I did my best talking with her, and we had a nice conversation, but it really blew me away for the rest of the run about how important this is and how important it was to talk to people, and it was a really good reaction from both the students and the teachers, and for me, and I know for Giancarlo too. Like the experience was unbelievable.
I really applaud you guys for that. You know, one of the reoccurring themes that Joe and I have on the show is, you know, when we first started out, we would talk about COVID and how to deal with that, how to breathe, and again, we want to reiterate that mental health is very important. If you're depressed, if you're feeling sad or feeling anxiety, go find some help. Call a friend and talk about it. You're not alone. And, you know, just what Rob just said, you know, him doing that show, someone was able to empathize with him. It's not as unusual as you think if you are feeling bad. You can go talk to someone. So I applaud you guys for that. Yeah. I was very fortunate. You guys asked me to come in and sit in on some of the rehearsals just to give some notes. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, wow, dude, this is an amazing project. So I really applaud you guys for that one.
Thank you very much.
I think if I can just kind of take... Sorry, go ahead, Giancarlo.
No, go for it. Go, Joe.
Yeah, sorry, if I could just piggyback how HB was saying, like, I think mental health is one of the things that I've been looking into a lot over the past couple of years. And I remember when Giancarlo mentioned to me that you guys were doing this project, I was really happy that you were doing it, because I think mental health is one of those things that, particularly in Latin America, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, oh, you're sad, we'll just feel better, you know, but it really is something where it's like, it's something that you have to deal with. It's kind of like when you're sick because you have a cold or you have a flu or your arm hurts, or you have to do something to make it better. And that's the same thing with mental health. And I think with young kids, you have to help them understand that it's okay. You know, it's okay. And particularly now that we've been dealing with COVID, as HB says, he and I speak a lot about the different things that we've been going through with COVID, how we've been coping, with the lockdown and with all the different things that are happening, it's okay to just cope. You don't have to be, because a lot of people are like, oh, COVID's happening, we're in lockdown, I have so much time to write a play or to direct a film or to do all these fantastic things. And sometimes it's okay to just cope, and I think for you guys to speak to kids about that and let them know that it's okay to not feel well, and to give them options on how they can get help. I think it's important, especially in today's day and age, when if a child isn't feeling well, it's they need to speak up about it, and it's more than just think positive thoughts. There's things they can do. So I thought that was fabulous that you guys did that.
It was a very, very impressive play, and both of you, I saw the rehearsals of the English version and the Spanish version, and you guys both knocked it out of the park. All right, that was, we're getting kind of serious now.
I actually want to add something to this, because this is, to be quite honest, it is the most important play that we've ever done. Like, obviously, all our plays, I enjoy them, and they're great and all, and very fun to do. But this one in particular had, because of the message that we were trying to convey, and not only the message, but who the target audience of that message was so important. Because, as Rob said, it is a sad fact that here in Panama and in other parts in Latin America, children attempting and sometimes succeeding in suicide, the rates are going up. And not just children, but a lot of times even teachers as well. And it's all because, as Joe very clearly mentioned, and I'm so happy that he did, is that here in Latin America, and very much so here in Panama, for many, many, many years, it was all about, oh, there's this problem, but we don't talk about it. And you just be happy, just smile, you'll be okay. That's it. That's the extent of the help that they would give. And so when we set out to do this, I was kind of scared, because I didn't know if schools were really going to be open to the idea of us coming in and talking about, depression and suicide. Like, that's kind of a crazy sales pitch of going in like, well, we want to come in and do a play about depression and suicide.
But funny.
But funny, yes, but funny.
And it was.
Which is actually a very important part that I want to touch upon in a second. But actually, I had no reason to be scared, because what we discovered when we went to these schools and we presented the idea, a lot of times the administrators that we talked to would bring in the school psychologists to kind of like also talk about the project, and they were thrilled because they knew that the statistics were going up and they needed to do something about this. And they were like, enough is enough. We actually need to talk to the children about this. And this was a very good vehicle to do that. And not only the schools, but even the Fundación Relaciones Sanas, who we partnered up with this play, for many years, they had been looking for a way to enter into schools and talk to them, but they hadn't been able to. And this was also the very good vehicle for them to kind of jump on and then reach this target audience that they wanted to talk to directly. And so we did, and it was received very, very, very well. And that what Rob mentioned about like the first show, how afterwards, like that was the conversation that he had with that girl, and they talked kind of like in a corner. I didn't go near it, but seeing that happen even from afar, of a girl that was going through these troubles and opening up to Rob was just mind blowing to me, and like also kind of like cemented the fact that this is desperately needed. And so we ended up doing this in many private schools, but we also went in and we did this in public schools as well. We actually went into the second biggest public school in the city and had a show there in Spanish. And that was a very interesting experience. I was the one acting because it was in Spanish in that one, and it's very different setting of private school and then going to a public school. It is worlds different, and like the experiences of the kids are different, and also how they reacted to the play was very, very, very. So that was also very impactful to see.
Very,
You
very
can.
good,
I'll
guys.
say real quick. Just one thing that really hit me hard when I was doing it or Giancarlo was you're dealing with kids that are like 14, 15, 16, 17, like that age range, who really they're walking into something they have no idea what they're going to really see. We don't introduce anything. They never introduced us. When we just started talking to them as this person. That's why they thought it was real, because we didn't have this is Rob and Giancarlo and they're doing a play. We would just start talking, and they would be normal kids. They would be kind of goofing around, and they would be talking, and they would be not paying attention. And then you get to a point where you're talking about the mother attempting suicide, and it's a dramatic part within like a few minutes of the play, and that entire audience, you realize at some point, oh, nobody's talking. They're all sitting there just like, what the F is going on? Like, what? And then you just got them for like another hour and a half, sometimes with Giancarlo, 2 hours. But it was truly, truly great. And just to repeat it, Fundación Relaciones Sanas, I mean, that is a really good source of help, I think. Those ladies are amazing. And me, not really having been very lucky that I've never suffered depression, like technically or medically speaking, but going through that character and that role and looking into it and doing all the research on it and the story that you're going through all these times over and over again with him, it really shows just a glimpse of what it's like and what people have to deal with a lot of the time. And especially these days, it's rough on people that aren't depressed going through it. Me personally, this is a super rough time.
Yeah.
And I can see how, reaching out, the quote or the mission of the foundation is romper el silencio, break the silence. Don't just sit in it and think you're tough and you're going to get out of it, because you might not. And so it's not shameful to look for help, which I'm sure you guys have talked about.
Yeah, which is actually like just so the audience knows kind of like what the story was about and how like it led to like the messages of the important messages of the play, is that it's this kid that he tells his story, and when he's a kid, his mother attempts suicide and eventually actually succeeds and does kill herself. And eventually he himself, as he's growing up, he then starts being depressed as well and starts dealing with the same things that his mother was dealing. But the whole message comes around when basically it shows you that the problem with the mother was that she was going through all of this, but she never reached out for help. And then him himself, being depressed, finally realizes that if he continues down his path, it could very well lead him to where his mother's path. And so and also realizing that there's way more to life and all the brilliant things and amazing things in life, that he decides to finally seek help.
I once again, I applaud you guys, and we did take a dour turn there, but it's very important to speak about mental health, and especially that play in particular. You guys reached out to the youth of Panama. And I'm not a stranger to depression, but I can tell you all that the thing that I found that really made me feel happy about life, I was probably in denial about it, but I found the theater, and I met these three gentlemen, and I found it very late in life, not very late, but considering it was a few. I'm 44 now, and I started acting very late. In the larger scheme of things. So there's always an opportunity to find something new, to find something fulfilling. RGB Productions was founded, 2007, correct? So there's always an opportunity to find something new. There's always an opportunity to find things that fulfill you. There's always someone out there that you can talk to. You do not have to live in depression or anxiety. So, all right, guys. Anyone have any final words?
Austin Powers!
Yes.
I agree. Yeah, let's talk about something nice.
And
Let's talk about good
sorry,
stuff.
I do have to mention a final. You said final word. I'm sorry. I have to say this. There's a reason why this play.
Lichos has been waiting all afternoon.
Yeah, he's the only one left listening.
Lichos, we'll get this. I promise.
Go, Giancarlo, go.
No, there's a reason this play uses comedy. That's one of the reasons that convinced me to actually do this play. It's because I read an interview with the author of the play, and he was saying that there's this phenomenon that when they're in that when you talk about depression or when you deal with depression in the wrong way, it could very easily lead to the opposite reaction that you want, which is actually lead to more people to commit suicide. And so, knowing this effect, which is called the Werther effect, and the play does touch upon the subject, he was very conscious. Well, if I'm going to write a play about depression and suicide, I have to do it in a way that I ensure as much as possible that it doesn't lead to that it actually does the effect that I want it to, which is to help. In this case, when I say I am the author. And so he found that through comedy, it was the perfect way to address and to talk about this very important and heavy subjects in a light-hearted manner, and then kind of shift and then talk about like the depressing matters and then shift back into comedy. And so that's why it is a comedy. I just wanted to mention that.
Speaking of comedies.
Very good. Very good. Thank you for that.
And that's a segue. That's a segue.
That is a segue. Aquilina was asking us earlier. He was making fun of us in the comments. He's like, segue, isn't that like a little motorcycle? That's where it gets the name, to move from one segment to another. So without further ado, I would like to add to the fact that as a child, I always wanted to be an actor. And I think Joe said the same thing. Like, when you grew up, you got into more professional things, and you know, being an actor is kind of silly. But then when I tried it, I was like, this is amazing. And I've been doing it ever since. And with no small help from the three gentlemen around me, it's become what I've wanted to do in life, and it's become very fulfilling. I've done a lot of charity work in my past, and so once again, I want to applaud you guys for choosing something difficult, and once again being a success at it, because you guys really did a good job. It was very touching when I saw the rehearsals, and just from what you've told us, you guys made an impact and hopefully started a conversation. Okay, last chance for dour commentary. Go.
I think we're done.
Okay. Okay, so the pandemic happens. You guys don't have a stage to produce on. You don't have school children to act in front of. You don't have malls where you can have events at. What do you do? What do you do, guys?
What do you do?
Well, I we're all addicted to this shit. And you can't hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, and so, after a couple of months, it was I basically turned to Giancarlo. I didn't turn to him. I turned him on, I guess, on FaceTime or something, Zoom. And I was like, man, we got to do something. I think we could do something. Maybe if it's just something little. It was before Guild was doing this open mic. Otherwise, I probably would just be doing stuff on there. But I said, we can, I saw once in a UCB theater in LA.
What's
online.
A UCB?
They did Upright Citizens.
Yeah,
Brigade.
what's a UCB?
Yeah, they did a staged reading of Monster Jam, the Michael Jordan vehicle with Looney Tunes. They did a staged reading with
Jam.
Space
Jam.
Space Jam, not Monster Jam. Space Jam.
Space Jam.
Sorry.
What was the rap song from Space Jam?
Yes.
I know you know it. Come on, Joe.
There were so many rap songs, but the most popular was "I Believe I Can Fly" by R. Kelly.
That wasn't a rap song.
Nobody wants to be like it.
No.
The one with Method Man and Be Real.
There was Hit 'Em High. It was Hit 'Em High.
If I hit 'em high, hit 'em high, hit 'em high, and you hit 'em low, hit 'em low, hit 'em low. If I hit 'em high, okay.
That was the good one, because nobody wants to be like R. Kelly.
Okay, segue back to.
I do have to pee though.
Go pee then. You can't hold in your rum. Just go, man. Just go. That's a Dumb and Dumber reference. So anyway, I told Giancarlo I saw this stage reading. It was hilarious. And I thought, why don't we just do something like that? We don't have to do a full production. We don't have to. I mean, it's all online. We do like a week or maybe 2 weeks of rehearsals, quote unquote. We just find a cast. We find a play.
Just 2 weeks.
Yeah. And we just go read through it a couple of times, and boom, we got something. We can mess around with it and have something to show. And he was like, yes, I like that idea. What do we do? And we each brainstormed on our own and came up with a list. And, things like Ghostbusters. And I was looking at like 80s and 90s family favorites. And then he sends me his list. And I'm like, the first thing I see is like Austin Powers. I'm like, yes. That was it. I was like, that is a show. Because everyone loves it. It's got a ton of crazy characters, all sorts of different big personalities. I didn't know how far we were going to go, but I knew there was costumes possibly and accents and all that stuff. And I told him, I was like, man, Austin Powers, yes. And he was like, yes, let's do it. And boom, we went. But it turned into something different than a 2-week stage reading.
Yeah.
Mostly due to.
I gotta say that we pulled a quick one, a little bait and switch on the actors. And I feel kind of guilty because of that. Because yes, originally, as Rob said, he pitched it to me, and then we pitched it to the guild as, this is just a stage reading. So it's just people with a script, and they're sitting there, and they'll read in character, but it's just a stage reading. So it's just quick turnaround, like a week, 2 weeks at most, and boom, we're doing the show. And that's how we then actually sold it to the actors, that we got to do these parts. We were like, hey man, it's just a stage reading, don't worry. It's like, but we're busy with our, no, don't worry. It's just a little amount of rehearsal, don't worry, 2 weeks, it's quick done. And then we got everybody to jump in, and then as we were in it, I was not happy with it just being a stage reading. Like, it's such a wonderful script, such a wonderful movie, such big characters, and us, RGB, we try to push the envelope as much as we can, and so we then, like I said, started like, well, what if we extended another, and then extended another week, and then we ended up doing 2 months of rehearsal.
Jesus. Yeah.
Wait. So it went from 2 weeks. It went from 2 weeks of rehearsals to 2 months.
Yes.
Yeah, we were gonna do like 2 of these a month. I was telling him, like, yeah, man, we can do Back to the Future.
Wow.
We can do Austin Powers. We do like every couple of weeks we'll do one, and then this thing turned into this behemoth.
Wow. Wait. So you told HB, you said, hey HB, it's gonna be 2 weeks of rehearsals.
Yes.
And then it was too much.
I was working 12-hour days, getting off at 8, and then going into rehearsal just completely, just tired, But I mean, the end result speaks for itself. Nothing is worth doing if you don't put the time in to prepare. Having said that,
No doubt.
during rehearsals,
But I gotta say, it was 2 months, but we only did 2 rehearsals per day. So in the end,
per day.
Per week.
Okay. I was like, only 2 rehearsals per day.
it was 4-hour rehearsals though.
It was 2 rehearsals per week. So in the end, we only did 12 rehearsals. That's all we did. 12 rehearsals.
We got to do the slideshow. I hope Lichos is still tuned in.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's been waiting a long time. He's been waiting a long time, dude.
Yeah, we have.
Lichos,
according to my metrics, we have 3 people tuned in on Facebook and 7 people tuned in on YouTube. I hope Lichos is tuned in so that he can bask in the glory of his fame, because he did a great job. It was so much fun.
Bask in the glory of his chest hairs as well.
Oh yes, look at that!
Oh my gosh!
What did he finally use?
Every one of you guys, every one of the cast, really kicked it out of the park. I'd have to say.
Yes.
They all did a wonderful job. Multiple characters for the most part. Changing costumes, popping in and out of the screen, trying not to be on screen, checking different microphones and headphones and sound. All this. It was a crazy first show, but it was definitely fulfilling, and we had a lot of good comments, and I think people really did like it. I loved it. I loved what we ended up coming, and I always have to, Giancarlo and I, when we get involved in these, somebody's got an idea that the other one isn't maybe 100% sure about, but we each let each other typically go for it. And I bitched and moaned a few times about this, just like, man, we can't keep going. We got to set a date. What are we going to do this thing? And eventually he gave in, and I think he had like 4 more months of rehearsals planned. But he gave in, and it turned out really good. But you know what? With all that planning and all that preparation, 5 minutes before showtime, of course, everything went to shit, and all our plans for our opening and the music and all that stuff went to shit, and it was a big mess. You couldn't really tell that much from watching it, I don't think. But behind the scenes, which is literally me squatting underneath my laptop so I'm not on the screen, trying to get the sound effects, because of course I did the sound effects, trying to get that before we pop up, running out of music and not knowing what to do. It was oh my God, craziness. But so fun. So
it was a lot of fun, and it was
Hey,
very well
listen.
received.
Yo, I was an audience member because I wasn't in this show, so I was just looking at it while you guys were stressing out. I really enjoyed it. I was putting it on my television, and I said, Kelly, we're gonna watch this, and we watched the whole thing, and we really enjoyed it. But it's, I mean, I also love you guys. I loved seeing you guys, but I thought it was super fun. I thought it was super fun, super original, super creative, and Licho chimes in, and he says that he still has a chest hair, by the way.
Yes.
FYI,
Right,
in
Lichos
case
is
you need
still
it,
there.
Austin Powers 2.
Lichos, I gotta say, he was amazing in this. Like a few interesting tidbits that I can throw out there. So when we did have an audition for this, it was a closed audition. So we asked like a few people that we knew, because since this was going to be our first online show, and that's very different than anything that we've done before. We wanted to be sure of like the people that we use, that so we didn't have to like kind of like worry on that side, like, oh, are they going to work out, not work out? And so we did use people that we knew, but we didn't know exactly what roles to fit them in. So we sent them an email saying like, hey, send us videos of you doing the part that you're interested in. And interestingly enough, of all the people that we contacted, nobody sent us in an audition tape for Austin Powers or Dr. Evil, the 2 main roles.
I did.
Nobody. Did you?
So
He's like,
What?
Dr. Evil, I loved it, but
did.
Austin Powers, I couldn't do it, dude. I couldn't squeeze it out.
You
So
didn't squeeze
Well,
hard
I'll tell
enough,
you
brother.
this,
Come
man.
on, man.
We knew you were going to be our backbone, like 5-role guy, so we couldn't
Yeah.
just lock you into one role, right?
That's exactly.
Lógico.
So go ahead, Giancarlo.
Lógico.
Put in your mouth.
Lógico.
No, but anyway, like, and then we asked specifically Lichos because he sent us in this video where he did multiple characters, and I gotta say, he knocked it out of the park in every single role that he did. Like, he could have done anything in this play, anything at all. He's that good of an actor. But we said, I had a hunch, and I was like, hey, do a video of you doing Austin Powers, and it was uncanny. It was amazing, the job that he did in that video. That, like, obviously we gave him the role, and it didn't require much direction from us at all because he had that character down from the get-go.
Definitely knocked it out of the park. Definitely.
No doubt. I totally enjoyed him, for sure. Shout out to Lichos. I think that was a fabulous idea. It was just wonderful to see how you guys just played with it. It was super exciting. The build up to it was like we were all waiting for it. It was just like, what's happening tonight? Austin Powers? What?
Yeah.
No, we had to check it out.
Yeah, it did, and it happened
We
at a right.
had to check it out. I loved
It
it.
happened at the right time too. You know, we were right in the middle of quarantine, and you know, the marketing that we did. A lot of people who would love to have made it to the guild were able to tune in to the Austin Powers because it was virtual. So, by pivoting, you were able to reach a market that hasn't been able to take advantage of RGB productions in the past.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And not only in
RGB
audience,
is
for
where it's at.
actors as well.
Hey,
Because
shout out
it's-
to all the other people that were in the play.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went
because-
international this year. With this show, we had that possibility of bringing in some oldies from the guild. No offense
Oldies?
to Mel Gilpin Lee. Or,
Hey, Mel is
but-
super old. She's like the oldest.
she's an old soul, but they were able to do it from LA. Tito was there. We had brand new Vanessa Hidalgo was brand new. She was in it.
No doubt.
Rafa.
No doubt. Yo,
Gilby,
Rafa.
There you go.
Rafa Gilby.
he killed it.
Yep,
Karina
and
Weber.
Simon Tejeda. Come on.
Simone.
Montejeda.
Now Weber. Come on.
Simone with Dr. Evil, man, it was really truly some funny performances. It was not unexpected from you guys. I mean, that's obviously we expected you guys to pull off. I always knew that whoever we picked, but as guildies, that you guys were going to take it to another level when it came to your characters, your costumes, everything. You guys were going to take it to another level. So that was always
Brooke
expected.
Sample. Karina Weber. Let's go around we've got the image up. Let's go around. There's Rob aping at the top. What are you're doing some mixing there or something?
Oh, come on, Rob. Come on.
We got
Get over
Tito
it, Rob.
The narrator
Vallarino.
maybe wasn't as necessary. I kind of regret that role, but we live and learn, right?
So on the upper left we have Tito Vallarino. He had various roles, and he's he's a graduate of the guild as well. First time I met him.
I want to before you move on really quick with Tito. He was incredible in this show. And speaking of Hand to God that we mentioned earlier, the next guild performance online, he has got the lead role, and it is going to blow you away what he has to do. I'm not going to spoil it, but I've only been through one rehearsal so far, and it was just a read through, and everybody really put a lot of effort in just this read through. But Tito is going to blow you away with what
what's
he does
the name?
in this
Did I
role.
miss what's the name of the show?
Hand to God.
Hand to God. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Hand to God,
Go ahead.
starring
Hand to
lead
God.
lead actor Tito Vallarino. That's the one that Levis is doing, right?
Right, and
Yes.
I'm actually in it myself, so I get to actually participate in this one too.
What?
But Tito's role is it's going to be great. I
Dynamite.
can't really see the
Okay, over here we've
doubt.
got
Hey, you
odd
should do
job
Dynamite.
or hand job.
Yes,
Was it?
Rafa Leonard.
Rafa had the English accent down, I think, for several roles, and really killed it.
Yes, especially as Basil Exposition.
Yep. Who's next? I can't see.
I think that's
we have
Melanie.
yes, and after is Melanie Gilpin, who played the lead role as Vanessa.
Yeah.
And,
Always
well,
a lot.
Yeah, to me it was a dream to be able to do a play again with Mel and Brooklyn Sample, because they were, for those of you that know, like they were a big part of their guild for many years, but then sadly they had to, life took them away from Panama, and since then we haven't been able to do anything until now because of this whole pandemic thing, and now being everything virtual. We were able to bring them in, and it was a dream to work with them again.
Hey, at first I didn't recognize Brooke in the poster, man. Not at
Oh,
all. But then
yeah.
when I saw it was Brooke, I was like, whoa, it's Brooke. Nice, man.
She's dressed
That
as
was
a
all her,
fembot.
man.
Fembot,
Beautiful
yes.
person, excellent actor, and also very beautiful woman.
Yep. All true.
So then
Who's Dr. Mel?
there's Dr. Evil, Simon Tejeda. I listened to him on Cool FM Pop Culture, and before even I knew who was talking on the show, I wrote into the WhatsApp. I was like, "Is that Dr. Evil?"
Hey, I loved seeing Simone as Dr. Evil.
Yeah,
That blew me away, man.
that was
I mean,
crazy.
he killed it for me. Because at first you guys were keeping it a secret.
Right.
And then when he popped in, I was like, no way. I loved it.
And
Yeah,
the
no,
scene,
he
the
did.
scene chewing that he did was wonderful. I loved it.
Uh,
And
Who's
then
that, Karina next?
Frau Fabissina was Karina Weber. who used her
I mean, come on.
Germanity to the max.
A little bit on the nose.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
Who
Come
else
on.
could do that role?
Come
But
on.
no, I have to say it
Come
is a
on.
treat whenever we are able to work with Karina Weber because she brings so much, not just in acting, but just in a general disposition and energy to the show, to the production.
Professionalism, dude.
That is just amazing, amazing to see, and it rubs off on the other people. So just having her in the cast is like it sets the tone for a lot of people.
Yeah. She's an asset in every situation, man. She can give you pointers. She can help you with acting. She can help you with props. She's the one that actually got me my beautiful wig that I wore during the show. Rob didn't like it. He said it looked like he said it made me look like Predator.
Rasta.
It was
Predator.
a mop, right?
It was a mop head. we bought
Yes.
mop heads. You know, props were very limited, and this is one of the cool things about the show is trying to come up with props because we had limited mobility. And you know, the hat that I used for one of the military guys was a butcher paper that I had, and I folded it into the little sailboat you do as a little kid, and I wore it as a military hat, and it worked. So that's the type of creativity that this play sparked in the actors so that we could have props, you know?
Yeah, like I'm actually very happy that you mentioned this because this is one of the big differences between doing a normal play and doing a play under pandemic, which is not only that it's online, but normally in a production, it is the responsibility of the production to provide, you know, props and costumes to the actors. But in this play, we were very limited. We also had the amazing budget of $0, and also we couldn't to these actors because of the pandemic. And so it was the actors themselves who were responsible for their own costumes and props. And so mad props to all of them, valga la redundancia, in, you know, using that creative energy that they all possess in like coming up with everything that they used in this play. And one of the biggest props in the play was actually the chest hair. And I have to make a little pause here and talk specifically about this because here in this picture that you're seeing in the poster, that was digitally done amazingly by Gilby, who was the creative director of the posters and all that, and so he painstakingly drew that chest hair on Lichos. But after he drew it, we knew we needed to have it on the actual performance. And so I was like putting a little pressure on Lichos, like, hey, you know, what are we going to do? What are you going to do for the chest hair? And so while we were brainstorming, one of the ideas, actually until Lichos came up with something better, was that one night I was going to go over because Joe actually lives right next door to me, and I was going to sneak into his apartment.
Yes.
I was going to shave him and then use his hair and paste it on Lichos.
Yeah, the famous chest hair. Diego, what was Don Diego on the Good Fried Comedy? My chest hair. Armando
man.
had 6 names.
My chest hair.
That was said multiple times. I got to tell you, that was actually on a possibility. You weren't going to go shave you, Joe.
Man. Oh my God.
Well,
you were going to have to get past Kelly, man.
Besides Gilby's chest hair contribution and that poster, basically, and basically everything that we posted, I'm pretty sure Gilby handled. He also did an amazing couple of performances, couple characters within the play. Did a great job. Gilby, you always know you're getting
lots of
you're getting
100%.
And
you're getting commitment, no doubt.
You get scene stealer basically. So it's always a joy to work with him, with everybody. But I can't see who's in that corner.
Gilby's in the corner, and then over here is Patty O'Brien.
Oh, that's you.
we don't need to talk about it.
Yeah, we've already talked about me.
Yeah, we already know.
I had fun. It was
Too
great.
Much.
Lots of
Sure
rehearsals.
HP's ego must be busting out.
Okay, then we're going up to Brooklyn Sample.
Brooklyn Sample, yes, amazing talent. She did multiple roles, and like I don't know, like I keep saying it, but it's just true. Like, she knocked it out of the park with everything that she did. Like, I remember specifically afterwards, I had a lot of people contacted me, and there were like people that didn't even know Brooklyn because she had already been gone a few years from Panama, and they were like, "Who's that?"
Word.
Like, she's amazing and this and that, and like, it's true. She just was amazing, and not only that,
Yo.
but she like during the rehearsal process, she would also, she's a director herself, both her and Mel. And I gotta say, I say this a lot, but both Brooklyn and Mel were the two people when I first joined the guild that I learned the most from in how to direct and run rehearsals and all that. And so, working with them again, a lot of times I would like when I had like ideas or when I had like notes or whatnot, I would like bounce them off, like not just Rob as a co-director, but a lot of times with Mel and Brooke, like just taking the opportunity that they were there. It's like, hey, what do you think about this? And that was so helpful because a lot of things came out of those conversations.
Just a little rewind.
Truth,
Back when we were talking about our first experiences in the guild, the first play that I was in, Mel and Brooke had Bear Claw, the first play I was in, which was produced by Giancarlo. They had it was a two feature night where they had what was the name of the show?
It was called Keep Me.
Keep Me.
It was a show that was written. Yes, it was a one act written by Brooklyn Sample. And because when we proposed the Bear Claw, it was also one act. The guild, the board told us like, hey, this is fantastic, but you need to find another one act and put them together so you have like a full 2-hour show for people, like, so their ticket is like worth it, like they get their money's worth. And so, and they told us, like, there's this girl, like this woman that has that wrote a play called Keep Me, and she presented it to us, like, why don't you get in contact with her? And we did, and we made it work. Both Brooklyn and Mel. During that,
and it was actually during the production of Austin Powers that I was chatting with Brooklyn, and we were reminiscing about Keep Me and Bear Claw, and it was because of the experience, because they brought a lot of experience to the play. They had previous experience acting in theater and in acting in general, that both Mel and Brooke, the powerhouse combo that they are, it is, I told her, it's because of you two that I fell in love with theater, because they helped me along so much and were so supportive and gave tips and tricks and coaching and things to do and how to mold my character and course corrections, that I really did fall in love with acting, and that's why I'm still doing it today.
Hey, let me tell you something, man. When I saw Brooke in God's Spell, Brooke was pregnant during God's Spell.
She was like 12 months
pregnant. She was still there dancing. She was dancing her arse off, man. She was dancing like nobody's business. Man, that was crazy. I was like, respect, man, because she was super pregnant and she was killing it, dancing just as much as all those other sorry people that weren't pregnant.
Yeah.
No, you're right, and she's such a consummated actor and so professional that I remember at one point asking her, like, man, but are you afraid that you're just gonna like start going to labor in the middle of the show? She's like, if it happens, it happened, and I'll give birth right here. I don't care. Like, I'm doing this play.
Hey guys, before we get, I want to move the final cast members, who I have an exclusive interview with.
Oh, sweet!
Oh, snap!
Let me get that. Let me get that picture up. Let me get that picture up, right here.
Wait.
Get it up! Get it up! Get it up!
Come here.
That's how we do.
Come here. Come on.
And she has to mention her name. She has to mention her name in the play.
Yep.
She did an excellent job.
Rap.
So seductive.
There she is.
So seductive.
So seductive. So seductive.
A lot of vagina.
Well done. Well, I'm sorry. What was the name again? I'm sorry. What was the name again?
Can't get you.
A lot of vagina.
Well done.
There you go.
You do.
No, thank
Great
you so
job.
much to Rob
Great.
and to Giancarlo for giving me the opportunity to be part of the play. Thank you so much for believing in me and giving me the opportunity.
Well, I think you did a
to
great
show
job.
my-
Job.
And
Yes.
do you have any previous experience in acting and in theater?
In theater, I think back in Venezuela, but when I was like 10 years old or something, like I was the dolphin on a play, and that's it.
Yeah. But she's a soap opera star, guys, in Venezuela.
No.
She had like, I don't know,
Hey.
15 years or so of soap operas.
Yeah. Story.
Telenovelas
Hey, well,
gave you the
listen, it was
the
fabulous.
energy to move to move the internet.
Drama.
The
Yes, the
internet
drama.
was moved.
Yeah. So do you
It
think
was
you're
moved.
going to do that more
I love
often? Have you gotten the acting bug?
I would love to, yeah. He doesn't want me to.
No, that's not
No,
true.
that's joking.
I loved how she looked at Rob like, yeah, I loved it, Rob. Am I gonna
I don't
act?
know. They just did. She had a show back in Venezuela that they did a reunion online. The guys here in Panama, the director of it, the writer-directors, and
Benjamin Cohen, yeah.
Benjamin Cohen. Yeah, he's with the New Theater.
Benjamin,
what's it called?
yes.
Yeah.
Teatro.
So he wrote this. What is it? ¿Qué clase de amor?
¿Qué clase? A show for teenagers, and we had a reunion after 10 years. So it's mostly
On Zoom.
Yeah, on Zoom. So it was I think a 3-episode show. Seeing the characters after 10 years.
Oh, cool.
Divorce, marry, and
It was
really fun.
really well done and a cool concept. It was all done like they were all doing Zoom calls to each other, and that's all it was. But it was really done well. Really, he did a really great job. I don't know who Benjamin is. I've never met him.
Yeah,
but
it's
I was really
Teatro
impressed.
Pacífico.
Exactly.
They're
yes,
actually
that one.
having
Yeah,
a showcase right now. If anyone out there is listening, Teatro Pacífico is having a showcase of talent, acting, theater, reading, whatnot. We'll see if we can't post something related to that on our Instagram feed. Benjamin Cohen, very talented guy.
Yeah, man. For sure, man.
No, you guys are
Very
so
cool
talented
stuff.
too.
Thank you.
Here, let me
true.
switch to the
Wow.
picture.
Okay.
This is you here. A lot of vagina. There you are.
Yes, that's me.
Oh, there
Yeah.
she is. Making it happen.
Good job. Well, that was cool.
Okay.
So, all right. So,
Hey,
we've
listen.
been. Go ahead.
Sorry, man. I just had a vision. I had a vision of the future. Because you guys mentioned Ghostbusters. So if you do an online Ghostbusters, you gotta cast rapscallions. You gotta
To
cast
sing the song.
rapscallions.
Who you gonna call?
To sing the song.
And
there you have it.
if you need someone to act
We're
like
call-
Bill
you-
Murray but
hey.
not act like Bill Murray, search your
We know
mind
who to
for the
call.
past. Search your mind. Search your
I'll be
feelings for
Winston.
the past.
I don't mind being Winston.
I
You got a
totally agree.
Bill Murray and you got a Winston.
I agree. HB Federico would kill it, man.
I think he's still stuck in Miami, though. I don't know if
I
he'll
think
make
he
it.
got back. Well, ran out of things to talk about, man. Now what?
Well, let's talk about next projects. People out there, you guys have successfully pivoted onto the online arena. What advice do you have to people if they have ideas, but don't necessarily have an arena to put them in? Because, as far as I know, Bloque Cuatro, there's no plan for theaters to be reopened in the near future.
That's like Bloque Space.
Bloque Infinity.
Oh.
It's like
Bloque
Bloque 1000.
Infinity, dog.
What advice do you have for people who have ideas but might have to pivot to the online arena?
Well, I would say that don't be afraid of online. Like, I know that many people might think like, oh, but you want the prestige of actually being on like a stage or whatnot. But there's so many cool things that you can do online nowadays, and it's basically free. Like, we did Austin Powers with $0, and like just using imagination. And also, don't be afraid if you're like, oh, but I don't know how to do this. Like, I got to tell you a big secret of RGB. For every single project that we've ever done, not a single one did we know 100% how we were going to do it. We just know that we wanted to, that we could do it, and we just jumped headfirst into it. And then once you're in it, you have to figure it out. And that's when the creativity comes up, and you come up with all these ideas and you figure it out.
You just hope it doesn't suck.
So, what are we talking about? Looks like we have a little dip in the internet, but regardless of that, what do you guys have on the cutting board? Is there anything in progress?
On the
What's
horizon, man.
What's on the horizon? Anything on the near future and in the far future?
We ain't got shit.
Ghostbusters featuring the Rapscallions.
Well,
That's Spaceballs. That was a Spaceballs
he's got
reference.
his things. I got my things.
Spaceballs.
Baseball. That's
We
right,
ain't
man.
found
Nice.
shit.
Baseball. Maybe that's what we need to do.
That's a lot of actors right there.
Yeah.
Hey, you know,
Hey,
Rob.
you guys. Hey, if there's one thing you guys know how to do, it's actors.
That's right. Get HB to do 30 actors, and then 30 characters.
Why didn't anyone tell me my ass was this big?
You can't take the lead. The lead, nah.
So, well, we don't have anything like on the books, like, oh, this is definitely what's next, but we always have like I don't know, like 6, 7 ideas in the air that we're always juggling, and then one comes to the forefront and we get excited about it, but then we put it back on the shelf and then think of something else. But there is one big project that we have been for years working on, and this year was supposedly the year that we were going to do it. It had already been approved and everything at the Guild. This year in October, we were going to do the Ancon Horror, which is an original script that was...
What?
We would be, hey, Giancarlo, you think about it, we would be in rehearsals right now.
Yeah,
Yes,
right.
we would be in rehearsals right now.
Yeah,
Exactly.
rehearsal should have started in January.
Yeah, seriously.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it's Ancon Horror is an idea that Rob had, and he wrote the majority of the script. And I kind of came in there and said a few ideas, but for the majority, it's his thing that he wrote, his baby. And we have been wanting to do it for many years. It's a very complicated script because Rob doesn't do simple. But yeah,
That's actually when I thought about doing a horror show for the Guild, and we did Woman in Black. We were gonna do my horror kind of horror comedy, but we thought we'd never done an original. We've only done one play, and it was Point Break live, so it's not like we're veterans here. Maybe we should do an existing horror play, which is what led us to do Woman in Black instead of mine. And then it just kind of keep putting back burner until this year I was just like, screw it, man. I want to do it. We don't have anything else. I want to do this thing. I want to see if it'll work. And we got approved for it, and then God didn't want us to. Or the forces of nature decided, let's have a pandemic and screw Ancon Horror. So we didn't get to do it this year, but
you should
hopefully
take
one of these
five
days.
these days and not do the show. I don't know.
But HB or I'm going to be doing Hand of God, which is going to be, I think, a really fun play, another dark comedy, crazy concept. And like I said, Tito's going to blow everybody away. Giancarlo, you guys are and Joe, you guys are kind of have some things. I don't know if that's talking about or not, but you guys got some things in the works. I don't know how talking. You guys want to talk about this stuff or what?
Yeah, give us a clue.
Maybe not. Maybe I
You know
spoke
what?
too soon.
We haven't touched much on DFC at all. Let's
Oh, wait,
rewind.
yeah, DFC, that too.
Let's rewind back to many years ago at the
How
Guild.
that came about.
Everyone on the right hand of the screen. That's actually where I met Rob, Flippy and Dolphin Boy. What was it? Flippy and Hambone.
That's right.
And bone.
Well,
Who do you think would love dolphins? Flippy or Hambone? You think Flippy, you'd be wrong.
I still have that shirt, by the way, because you guys spelled it wrong and then crossed out
Oh.
the wrong letter and wrote the right letter above. And because of that error, I kept the shirt.
Well, I
Hey,
had
you
Flippy
got
until
at
it
least you
wore
got
off.
something that nobody else. You got something free. You got something free out of the guild.
Actually,
man.
when you look at the tag
That's
and it
pretty
says
good.
size, underneath it says free.
Jesus was like also a HB character.
Jesus,
man.
I was wearing a
Hey,
a
HP
shower
was
curtain.
Jazz man.
I was wearing swim goggles.
Yeah.
Man, and hey, we're preparing some DFCs, which Giancarlo's been involved more in the sort of the legal side than I have, but on the creative side, we're always writing, always preparing stuff on the DFC deep fried comedy, trying to make stuff happen. You know, trying to bring some different type of humor to the masses. But hopefully we'll have something coming up. I guess Giancarlo, what, in September, October, November? I don't know.
Actually, yes, we are. So we'll have like a more formal announcement of this, but we are very excited because we have been working on the next Deep Fried Comedy. It's in the
Alright.
works a while.
I got 2 questions.
Yes.
Where do we look for this announcement? And 2, we have to rewind so you guys explain what deep fried comedy is, because the 2 people who are
Okay.
still signed in
Deep fri-
after 3 hours and 8 minutes
Of course,
might
We
not
love
know
you.
what that is.
of course,
You're dying to know.
So tell us,
Well,
what is
okay,
it?
so-
of course. DFC, take it,
DFC.
Giancarlo, because you were there the first season. I wasn't.
Is that Kelly and Karina?
Oh, Karina logged out a long time ago now.
Possibly.
Asking is still
No,
on.
and it's not. And Kelly's not logged on either. She logged off when we logged off at Instagram.
Shout out to
She's
Catalina
doing stuff on
Underwood,
the floor right
still listening to the show. I think she has her headphones in. I'm not sure if she's actually listening. But anyway, Deep Fried Comedy. It was that first year that I got involved in theater. We've been talking about Bear Claw and Keep Me, which was the second show that I did. I was a producer, and it was the first show that HB did. During that show, we had this amazing chemistry with a group of people within the show, which was Andres Clemente, Brooklyn Sample, Ricardo Agurcia, aka Nemo, Brooklyn and Mel, Fernando Dreyfus, and myself. And
not
we were
HB.
talking. Well, you were there, and
I
we
wasn't
had
there.
great chemistry with you, but
I wasn't
we
there.
were
Yeah.
like we got talking. I don't know, like it was just one day that was us in the theater, I guess, and we were like, hey, the show's coming to an end, we would like to do something. And so we actually scheduled a meeting to go to Brooklyn's house and kind of come together and just discuss ideas that we all had and see what else we were going to do. That was it. But after we had scheduled that meeting, but it actually happened a day prior to it, the board of directors contacted us and said that, hey, you know, this show is coming to an end and we have nothing planned as the next show at the Guild. If you guys have something in the books, like if something that you're working on, now's the time, we need it. And so we went into the meeting like, hey, so you know, we came here just to kind of discuss potential maybe future products, but whatever it is, it has to happen now. And so that night, Deep Fried Comedy was born, which is a comedy sketch show, a Saturday Night Live, all original comedy written by ourselves, produced by ourselves, directed by ourselves, and acted by ourselves. And it was that first year we did everything from writing, staging it, not auditioning, but like the rehearsal process and everything in a month and a half. That was it. It was crazy fast.
Yeah.
I think
it
that
was
year I
crazy
did the
fast.
Jack
First
Handy
season.
voiceover type deal.
Yes.
The first
and it was a
season,
huge success,
no
and
doubt.
that led to many, many, many more years. We actually ended up doing it 4 years in a row in the Guild. And the second year, I believe that's when Joe Mesquita came into the picture.
Yeah, for sure. I came in the second season. Many hijinks with Robbie G and 8th and season as well, 4th season as well, killing it at the Theater Guild. Then last year we decided to try it in Spanish at the
Plaza.
Teatro La Plaza, which was a super success. HB was traveling around the world as he does. You know, he's a man of many talents, making stuff happen
I got
globally.
to see it.
Robbie G, you got to see it.
And
I worked the sound.
you know what was great about another thing that happened at that DFC was Joe wrote several reggaeton hits that have taken a life of their own.
Oh yes.
Oh,
And Joe had an
Hey.
amazing hype man in that show.
no doubt. No doubt.
No
Billy
doubt.
Shine. Billy Shine came on there, assumed the role of PTY Bad Boy 69, because 69 is a great number. Somebody told me it's a good number. I think it's a good number, 69.
I think we're getting drunk.
So he did it.
Yeah, but no
He did it.
disrespect to Billy Shine, who was amazing. He actually took over
Talented.
at the last
So
minute over
talented.
me because I was hospitalized. So
Man.
big mad props for Billy Shine for stepping up last minute and
That's
learning
right.
all the ropes.
That's right.
But when I say hype man, I
He
thought
came
for a
in-
second, yeah, that you were talking
No,
about.
remember, he took over the whole. He took over the whole character, man, because you were like super sick, but now you're
Yeah,
super healthy, strong as an ox. They call you the ox man. 'Cause you're so strong.
Giancarlo Oxman.
But I was referring to the hype man that you had in the late night long skits that you wrote.
Oh my God, that was Fernando Felix. How could I ever forget Fernando Felix, dude?
I want to know.
I want to know. They were when DFC was going on, and I was coming home from the theater. I'd be driving through Casco Viejo, and there's always a big traffic jam in Casco on the weekends, and invariably someone would yell at me, "I want to know. We saw it. We saw DFC. I want to
No
know."
way. No way.
Way, because
Fabulous.
the crew would always go to the Theater Guild crew, the TGA crew. Our constant fans would always go down to Costco afterwards, and I got hollered at. He's like, "Where's that
That's
chest
how
hair? The chest
famous-
hair."
Hair, man. The chest hair. People want the chest hair. I mean,
In my head
Hair
canon,
dog.
that's when Rapscallions was actually born.
I think so.
for sure. For sure. And that's why when you guys do Ghostbusters, you guys got to have Rapscallions and Ghostbusters. I mean, if you do Ghostbusters and you don't have... I mean, I'll even be Slimer, but you guys got to have Rapscallions.
Done and done.
We can, yeah, I like that. And we can do the theme song and act in it. That's a double trouble, man. That's a
Man,
that's
you
a
guys
home
will
run.
have the best theme
That's a grand
song.
slam.
Man, you guys are going to have the best theme song, Grand Slam, Premios Escena, all of them. You're
I'll
going to
be
win
like,
everything.
You know,
Who you
know
gonna
what?
call?
The best thing about this HB.
Rap
You know what?
Scallions.
Raps. It even works. The syllables. You know the best thing about this show, about the Rapscallions that I love, that I'm figuring out now, is that the hosts, they end up getting to a point of drunkenness that they don't even know what's going on, what time it is, what's going on.
Hey, we've been
How
going at
long
this for
we've been
3
talking.
hours and 16 minutes.
And you guys are
I know that.
you guys will answer any questions that we want. You guys are punch drunk, and that's the theme of the show. We drag you until you're malleable in our hands.
Hey, last week we had some guys on here. We didn't even let them go to the bathroom. We were like, no, you guys got
They were
Have you noticed I'm walking around because I gotta pee?
Well, we're like a little. When I said I was getting a drink, I wasn't. I was like, man, like that's the only way to leave the screen, and I used that time to go pee because I was holding it in. So that's the key word. You just got to say you're getting a drink and go pee.
this
Well, I'm
guy
gonna
knows
get a drink.
because I've made 3 drinks. So we
Hey man, what I do, and
yeah,
and I have to kind of return to reality.
right. So
for
we've got
a bit.
We've got 2 followers on Facebook, 2 followers on YouTube. Any last words, RGB Productions? Let us know. We're going to cut this one off. We're going to pinch it off and wipe it till it's white.
I just want to, after that, I can't. Guys, this is awesome. Even if it wasn't, for our 2 huge audience members out there listening, just sitting down with you and bullshitting is been a fun, been a blast, and reminiscing.
Absolutely. And
Good
and,
stuff.
and by the way, it's recorded. And even though we only have a few people, our current track record is from 50 people watching during the day, and throughout the next week, it goes up to about 800 to 2,000.
Oh, well,
So
cool.
all
We're
of
gonna try
these
to
little
break that record.
tidbits are out on the interweb verse. That's what it's called.
Forever.
All right, Giancarlo, last words. Hit us up. Hit us up. What do you want us to know?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me. It's been very, very, very fun. Even though it's been very long, to me, I haven't felt the time. I just enjoyed this conversation with you. It just felt like another hangout with you guys at the grills over there, and that's pretty fun.
No.
You guys as host nailed it right there. And if you're listening, RGB Productions. We have no idea what our next show will be, but I'm pretty sure something will happen at some point, and tune in. I'm sure we will surprise you somehow.
So to the stragglers listening online, what's your web handle where they can find out what's going on?
So,
Oh, well, the Instagram is just at RGB Productions. At RGB Productions. I think
And
TTY maybe. I think it's.
It came back to life this week. Yeah, it's
That's right. I started adding to it. I hadn't touched it in a long time, but I started adding some old photos. And
us. Come on. Do it.
I know this guy's totally peeing right now. And so Rapscallions, whatever
what? No, I'm good.
whatever RGB Productions does, you can rest assured that you're going to find some more information on the Ancon Guild website. That's www.anconguild.com. RGB Productions on Instagram, Ancon Guild on Instagram. And if you're listening, you're already a fan of Rapping with Rapscallions, share the word. We're here every Sunday at 3 o'clock. Joe, last words. Hit me up, baby.
Hey, I love Giancarlo, man. I love Robbie G. You guys are super talented cats. I don't know what else to say, man. I've loved spending time with you guys. I hope you guys do Ghostbusters and you cast Rapscallions. Man, we're going to kill it.
Totally kill it. Kill it. And Joe said that he'll be Slimer. Kill. That's on the record,
right.
on the interwebs. You can't erase that.
Dog.
His face is going to be like...
Who else could I be?
Big ass Slimer.
I want it on record that if we do it and we cast him as Slimer, he is going to paint himself green all over.
Well, they already got the green suit, right?
Right.
Make
You
sure
can
you
wear
wear a
Andres' green suit.
I'll borrow it from Andres. It'll be
You wear
extra
a
tight
cup.
on me, but I'll borrow it.
Dude,
I want a cup.
I'll borrow it.
make him do it for the auditions. All right, let's pull the plug on this, guys. Thank you so much for being on the show. And you know what? Even though it was 3 hours, one of the positive notes is all the deep dive that we did, all that back history behind all of your award-winning shows, is recorded for eternity. All the dumb shit people can gloss over, but all the good bits, that's for the children, maybe. All right, thank you guys so much. RGB Productions, keep an eye out for them, everyone. And tune in next week at 3 p.m. Rapscallions, Rapping with Rapscallions on all your favorite channels. We'll be here shooting the shit, having fun. And once again, thank you guys. Good night and have fun.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Love you guys.
Bye.
I actually didn't go pee. I gotta pee now.
Yeah. So I killed all the streams. The streams are dead.
Oh man, that was epic.
Yeah, guys.